Hello YouTube and welcome to my review of Godzilla vs. Spider-Man. We're going to get into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, here is your warning. But before we get into the book, it seems like Marvel is all in on Godzilla with a series of books. Godzilla vs. the Hulk, Godzilla vs. Thor, Godzilla vs. the X-Men, Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe, and many more. And I know DC recently published Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong. And I know IDW is currently publishing a number of Godzilla titles too. So I can only assume that Godzilla is not under any exclusive publishing deal. But if you know the details, let me know down in the comments. What's the deal with the Godzilla license? Because it seems like everybody is using Godzilla these days, and why not? He is the king of monsters, right? So, all right, let's get into the review. Let's take a look at the creative team. It is Joe Kelly, the writer, and Nick Bradshaw on the interior art for this issue. We open with Spider-Man swinging through New York City in his black and white suit, and we quickly learn that this story takes place following the events of Secret Wars when Spidey first acquired the alien costume. Spider-Man then encounters the Shocker, and the two begin to mix it up as we get caught up on Spidey's life. He's dating Black Cat, J. Jonah Jameson is still a dick, and the new suit has some benefits. And then enter Godzilla. With Godzilla now in New York City, Spider-Man asks Shocker if we can take a time out, and Shocker agrees, and then Spidey quickly webs him up. Spider-Man then turns his full attention to Godzilla and realizes he's making his way through the city and seems to be following or going after something. Spidey then realizes that Godzilla is heading for Spider-Man's own, Peter Parker's own apartment building, and we see Mary Jane. Spidey acts quickly and saves MJ as Godzilla takes out the building. MJ reveals to Spider-Man that she knows that he's Peter. Back in the 1980s when Secret Wars came out, MJ didn't always know that Peter was Spidey. The Black Cat arrives and we get a little verbal spat between the girls. The cat and MJ, of course, over Peter. Peter Parker might have the bad Parker luck as far as some things, but not with the ladies for sure. Spidey asks Black Cat to look after MJ as he tries to draw Godzilla's attention away from them and the city. As Godzilla pursues Spidey, he lets out a roar, and the Spider-Man alien suit goes haywire, being affected by the high-pitched sound. Peter grabs some clothes off the clothesline to conceal his identity as the alien suit attacks Godzilla. Spider-Man quickly learns that the suit is a living being, and he questions what he did by bringing it back to Earth. We then see the King in Black, and he's more than happy to watch Earth be destroyed. But Godzilla is Earth's protector. The symbiote is trying to take over Godzilla, but Godzilla tries to fight it. We then see Spider-Man in his classic blue and red costume, and he's armed with the Shocker's gauntlets. He's trying to help Godzilla. He uses the gauntlets to create a high-pitched sound to separate the symbiote from Godzilla. Godzilla returns the favor by saving Spidey as he falls to the ground, and with some of his fire breath, he takes down the symbiote. And we think that's it for the symbiote. We then see in the aftermath of, in some rubble here, that Eddie Brock is stealing a camera from a dead press member who took some photos of the battle, and Eddie grabs the camera and plans to sell the photos. And then we see the symbiote suit come back, and he attaches himself to Eddie Brock, similar to the story from the 80s. And then we see a new version of Venom called God Venom, which looks like a cross between Godzilla and Venom. And that's where our story ends. I'm sure this will play out in future, Godzilla storylines. That's kind of why they set this up. So that's it. That's Godzilla versus Spider-Man in a nutshell. Overall, not bad, but it feels kind of like a throwaway story, going back, tying back into almost 40 years ago in a story, kind of rewriting some of the story of how, Spider-Man, gave up the suit and how Eddie acquired it. So, a little twist on that. Joe Kelly is the writer, who's currently writing the new Amazing Spider-Man run. He did a good job here capturing the feel of the 80s era in the style, in the writing style of this book. But yeah, so overall, thinking about my 5 webhead rating system, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, we're going to go right in the middle. We'll go 2.5. Nothing, not bad, not great, nothing earth-shattering here, but a fun little read. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the review. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And as always, thanks for watching.